Hi, my name's Megan Hwang and I am the project manager of Bute Street Festival.
Hi, my name's Dami Akimola and I'm one of the founders of Bute Street Festival.
I'm Ndogus and I'm part of the Bute Street Film Festival team.
I'm Benjamin Cyrus Clark and I'm the director of Bute Street Festival. 2017 for me was quite a frustrating one in terms of I've made a couple of short films and one called Blueberry Muffin didn't go as planned, and I couldn't find any real centralised support in terms of filmmaking in Luton. I have a friend who ran a festival called Sunday Shorts and I had ideas on how to develop it out, but he was happy with what he had, so I was thinking to myself, why don't we actually have something in Luton? I would describe Luton as a complicated place, depending on how you look at it. It has so much potential, and it's just, in my mind, it just takes the right minds and the right people to focus that potential to do something amazing.
To me, Luton has been kind. I found a lot of friends here. I found what I would say is my purpose here, but it could have just been that it was under the circumstances of me moving here and has nothing to do with Luton really. But I do credit that to Luton because the people from there did help me grow as a person. But it can be a tough town to explore and try to hone your skills in, because there is very little resources here, especially if you're an artist. If you're an artist, true artist, you make do what you've got, and that's what we've done here. We found magic in the rubble, so I would say it's Luton's what you make it.
How would I describe Luton to someone that's never visited? Luton is I would say, working town. You definitely have to look around and see who is around, because you will find that there's some really interesting characters here. Take that in whatever way you like. But you know what, there are some really good people in this town, and when you're talking about the creatives that are here, you've got some really hard workers and people that actually want to do things.
The way I describe Luton to someone coming to the town is it's a very different kind of place. It can be kind of challenging for some people, but there's a lot of different dynamics here that make it a very interesting kind of town to be a part of. It's full of a lot of different things you wouldn't normally find in other areas. It's obviously full of different cultures and different backgrounds, but I think that in itself kind of adds to Luton, because it's like you can kind of get a glimpse of the rest of the world by just living here and get inspirations from different kinds of people and different kinds of things going on here. It's not something other people would normally be used to, so it's a bit of a shock to a lot of people when they come here, but I think it's definitely an interesting place to come down and see.
It's called Bute Street Festival simply because I was determined to have it on Bute Street. When I started off the idea for the festival, I approached quite a few people and different organisations. There was a bit of a resistance to it because I guess no one really knew who I was. And I effectively, I guess, was this random person coming up to them asking to put on this significant event in their venue. But in my mind, I was so fixed on it being on Bute Street because of the historic buildings that we've got on there, and it would just be amazing. So we called it Bute Street. The first festival was not on Bute Street, but yeah, it was literally because I was determined to have the festival end up on Bute Street. My memory of the reception of the first festival was both stressful and amazing at the same time. It was the first event I've ever put on. So there was a lot that I was thinking about that had to go into it to make it happen, and thinking of all the different elements and just kind of not being able to switch off. But to see the turnout and the response of people was amazing. We had a link up with Nando's as well. So literally my dream of having people watching film while eating fried chicken was realised on that day, and it was amazing. But the memory that always sticks with me was there was a guy who was on his way to a Luton football match, and he popped in and he then messaged the social handle we had, I think it was on Instagram, saying I was literally on my way to watch the Luton game, popped in, loved it. and he's never been to a festival before. And I was like, that was the impact that I always wanted for the festival, for people who never engage with art in that way or never thought it was for them, and creating it's a very cliche term, but a safe space that people know that art is for them and they can interact with it and it can be for them.
Luton's response to the first festival, I definitely feel, was a really positive one. It was so nice to see, you know, filmmakers come down and also their family and friends enjoying this festival that was first based at Toko. I believe when Benjamin and the guys put the first festival together, it was really showing that Luton deserves a festival that is for its people, you know, to enjoy arts and to make it accessible.
We all met different ways. So I remember with the guys, I remember Dami, Riaz and Mindy. I remember we've done a few kind of filming projects together, but I think the moment that I met them properly was when we was filming Blueberry Muffin. And the thing I loved about the guys, it was like the first time I met them properly. Like we met in passing on different projects, but this was the first time I interacted with them properly. Was the energy. Like the energy was amazing. I loved the enthusiasm. I loved the talent that was quite clearly there. And I think from that moment on, we were just kind of linked. Like anything we was doing, I would just like call them up and say, do you want to be involved, and vice versa.
So I met Benjamin Cyrus Clark. I was in college and I was watching his movie Brick City, right? And obviously we were watching it and we were young, we were not really paying attention. But we watched all of it and I was like, okay, I know of this guy now. And then someone told me this person from Luton, just like myself, managed to get distribution, managed to get this to college, managed to get this to quite a few people to watch. And it blew my mind. It motivated me and the people that I was around to go out there and do something. That's how I met Ben. And then let's go to Megan, because she's sort of like an insider-outsider in the whole scheme of this. Because I met Megan in the most random way possible. Someone said, there's someone who can help you do something better. And I was like, who is it? And they said, her name's Megan. She's very keen and she's a hardworking person.
So I actually met Dami, Arman and Mindy before I met Ben. So because we were all generally a similar age, I met those guys on sort of different, I guess, projects and stuff like that. So that's how I first met the guys, and also their reputation as well. Like when I heard about these guys, it was like, okay, I must get in the circle somehow. So yeah, that's how I met, you know, Mindy, Arman and Riaz, and also Dami as well. And then Dami messaged me and was like, hey, we've got this festival kind of going on. We thought that maybe you would like to join. And then that's when he passed my details to Ben, and Ben sent me an email that I took my time in answering. And then finally, Ben actually met me on the day of the first film festival.
So I met everyone in a very different way. I met Ben, for example, in the gym. I just happened to mention I was working on the film or some kind of filming activities back then, and he told me that he was into film and had a little background. So that's how I met Ben. Everyone else I actually met just through working on little projects throughout Luton for different companies, stuff like that. And all in all, we kind of just stayed friends, and bit by bit we kind of just started working together on different projects.
Now, in case of everybody else, that being Riaz, Ahmed, Arman Habib, Mindogas Carries, I met them because we were doing a lot of extracurricular work in terms of we were still in college and we were still in uni, and they were probably the only motivated people in Luton. And again, that ties back to my point about art and artists in Luton. You have to be motivated. If you're motivated, you will find people who are like you, and these people were exactly like me because they were willing to stay up till 12, 1, 2, 4 if needed to get the shoot done, to get the idea done for no money, just because we felt like we have the equipment, so why not do it? So I met those guys doing what I like to do, and it became a friendship, and it became a very good working relationship, and then it became Bute Street Festival.
The people that inspire me the most are the team at Bute Street. I've said it to guys so many times, like we've had like barbecues around my house where we just like bond and just eat and just chill and just be normal. And I've said to them so many times that I can have this thought in my head of what I want to achieve, but I can't achieve it by myself. And even if you contribute a little bit or a lot, it all goes to the ecosystem of what we're trying to achieve and actually put out there. And the guys have sort of fed in so much of their time, their talent, everything, and I'm always be eternally grateful for that input, because without them I would still be that guy sitting in Starbucks thinking about how can I create something that's special for Luton, and it would just be a thought as opposed to a reality as it is today.
My biggest inspiration within the festival, I think my first answer would be Benjamin, and then, you know, I do sort of like think, oh, but what about the other guys as well? And I genuinely like completely agree, without the guys and without us number of people, we wouldn't get as much work done as, you know, just two people would. So definitely I think that, you know, to have the whole team is definitely an inspiration, and also keeps us going because we all play our parts.
My biggest inspiration during the time I've been with Bute Street, honestly, and this is going to sound like I'm pandering, but I'm not, has been Ben and Megan. I think they have incredible work rate, and generally, as humans, great people. And just seeing them put in the work constantly, because honestly, it's something that I would love to do, but I hate life sometimes. And it feels like they can skip past that and just do the work. And for me, sometimes it gets tough to do the work, and to see them do the work has motivated me to do my work and try and do as much as I can to play an important part and help this grow to what we need it to be.
So my biggest inspiration whilst working on a film festival has actually been Ben. He's been there from the start, putting this whole project together. No matter what's been in our way, whether it's COVID or anything else in the past, every year he's been at it, getting us all together, building this whole project, letting it grow. Even if I haven't been available or something, this project has still been going strong, and it's been really inspiring just to see him go at it no matter what.
So we have a lot of stuff that we plan for the festival going forward. So one of the biggest changes we've made is the organisation in terms of how that's structured. So we have Megan moving up to being a director, as well as Arman being a director as well, and taking a level playing field with me in terms of creatively how the festival moves forward, and structurally also. We're creating elements of the festival that we can actually offer more of a free element to it in terms of upskilling, as well as commissioning in terms of what we offer in the festival and around that main event as well. So there's a lot to look out for, and a lot that we will be doing this year and in the coming years as well.